combine that with point number 2, stock Android performance. Now, normally, because this is locked at 2.6 gigahertz, first thought going to be is it'll get hot, right? And this is what Sudhir also mentioned. Consumers are saying that devices get hot. We did was ran a couple of tests in our labs. Now, this is the gaming test. This is, I think about 2 or 3 minutes into start this last point 8. The device on your left side is running a Snapdragon 625, Redmi Note 4, and on the right you see the E8 Plus. Now this is the starting point. You see the highest point is about here. That's the display driver, kind of heating up quite a bit more. But when you game for 15 minutes, you can significantly see a difference, right? So this is the range. So obviously the rooms that you see are about 30.2, which was the ambient temperature, and from there you can see the gap that comes in the device. So not only is it more powerful, but it's also more thermal efficient, which is quite interesting. The gaming
Hello?
is one task where
Hello?
you are firing up all the
Hello?
like pushing the
Hello?
CPU to the maximum. Again, the same two ports. On the left, you have Redmi Note 4. On the right, you've got the E8 Plus. Again, from a benchmark perspective, and this is running hand through a couple of times, you can see the difference that comes in. So, faster, smoother, what else would you want? Better efficiency, right? That's what it is. Think of it as a car, right? So, more fuel efficient car is a car that uses less petrol per kilometer. Like that, P25 also uses less current for a similar task. So here we've taken 4 tasks. Again, these are lateral tasks coming in from 4 task perspective, a lot more battery efficient. And we will see what happens when you get this kind of efficiency a little later. That's point number 8. Remember that. But what you've got is that's more thermal efficient and better at battery life. Again, like I said, a complete phone, and you can see big bumps on all of this. Now, how does it happen? Now, there's a difference between the architectures. Normally, you see CPUs.
Them at 2.3 gigahertz and one runs at 2.6, right? And what you can do with this is truly remarkable. So for example, if you've got a very light application, say it's just an email that's coming, with a big little architecture normally is all your 4 little cores will get fired up. So there are 4 core cluster kind of is being used. But in this case, so it doesn't need to fire up the entire cluster. Now, what if it was a heavy application like gaming, right? So when you've got, say, a heavy game like Asphalt coming in, of course you need that power, right? And that's when all 8 there and here fire. There you start seeing a benefit in terms of 2.6 versus a 2.0 gigahertz. But the interesting part is, and this is what our daily usage is, you suppose are driving around and you've got a GPS and along with that you're playing music, right? Now these 2 applications might be too much for the little cores, so it moves it to the big ones, and hence all big cores are firing. Now this is a classical big little architecture, but in our case you don't have to do that. It could be spread across 3 of them dynamically, right? So it basically manages the applications also a lot better, along with the fact that it is actually more thermal efficient as well as better at handling the battery life or uses less current in the process. So overall, from a performance perspective, you get a 2.6 gigahertz P25. It's an 8 cores built on a TSMC 16 nanometer. It's the latest process that comes in. I know some of you guys will be questioning, saying, but isn't 14 lower than 16? It's the process difference that comes in. 14 from a different fab, 16 from global leading lab makes it a bit different. You're going to give 3 GB of RAM, enough to kind of multitask and run all your applications. And of course, you've got stock Android so that everything else runs smoothly and the way it's supposed to. Along with 3 GB of RAM, the other part that comes in is storage. Now, storage has two components, right? And let me talk about the component that's outside the device. And when you go to YouTube, you will see this a lot, right? Life hack. How do you get dual SIM and a micro SD card working in a hybrid slot, right? Apparently, you have to burn the SIM, stick it to the SD card, and hopefully it all works. Unfortunately, in most cases, and when you start going over the consumer reviews who said, okay, I'll not do all these steps, what ends up happening is they basically end up spoiling at the minimum their SD card or the SIM, and they can't use it. In most cases, it basically blocks off this tray, so you can't use it anymore, right? Now, this is obviously people are trying to do this because it is a real pain point. With the K8 Plus, again, it's all about solving those problems and not making compromises. We have a dedicated SD card slot. To make this, it actually took a lot of engineering effort, where this is probably the longest SIM tray that we've ever used. Got 2 nano SIMs and an SD card on a single tray. And the engineering part actually was that, when you look at it, it's such a long tray that it overlaps slightly with where the fingerprint sensor and the cameras are at the back. But the way it had to be done, and consumers are asking for it, it just makes perfect sense. So what you've got is 3 gigs of RAM, 32 GB of storage. You've got a dedicated SD card slot. You can expand it by about 128 GB. It's USB OTG, which means that you can attach USB pen drives to it, or you can charge other devices as well. Again, point number 8, which is the battery. I'll get to it. Number 4. So you've got covered 3. So we said stock Android. So from a software and hardware we just saw is more efficient from a battery perspective, from a thermal perspective, more powerful. Number 4, and which is again a separate pain point that's coming in, is better selfies. So how do we improve the selfie experience as well? And this is an interesting one, right? So think of a case like this, where you are with a group of friends and you're trying to take a selfie. This is when you're out in the evening, you're going for dinner, and normally the lighting conditions aren't perfect. So how do you solve for that? Well, you put a party flash in the front, right? You fire up, you've got perfect selfies every time. This is an 8 megapixel in the front. You've got a f2.0 5-element lens in the front as well. You've got professional mode in the front, so you choose your selfies the way it should be. You've got a beautify mode, which can be auto or manual, so you can drag it up all the way to how pretty you want to look. And this one is the 84-degree wide-angle lens, so you can capture a lot more. So again, it's perfect for group selfies and also takes care of the lighting conditions. Right? So putting a front flash is again addressing a genuine consumer pain point. Let's move on to point number 5, which is screen. Right? Now this one we had to kind of take a look at K6 Power. Now K6 Power was a pretty good screen, and how do you kind of improve it further? It is a 5.2 inch full high definition display. So we've taken it from 5 inch to 5.2 inch, which basically makes a lot of difference in terms of when you're consuming multimedia or when you are in terms of what you get with Theatre Max. It's a bright display, good enough for outdoor visibility. You can test it out later. The whites are perfect, so it's not getting that yellowish tinge that you would normally see with devices. And it's an IPS display, so you get a pretty good viewing angle. You get about 178 degrees, right? But that's not all. We just didn't increase the screen size and leave it there. we had to improve it further. And this is again based on consumer feedback. So the first thing that Sunil read was my screen gets smudged too easily. And now we are a country where there are different weather conditions. Uh, it's quite easy to kind of have those fingerprints kind of sticking there. So the K Plus actually comes with Corning Gorilla Glass. So we've again stepped it up there. And it has an oleophobic coating, which is resistant to your normal fingerprints and smudges. It's not going to be proof. There's no glass in the world that can do that, but it's going to help with, and also the fact that if you have less smudges, it's better from a visibility perspective. So that's number 5. Let's go to number 6. And this is an interesting one, which is design. Now, while keeping a device compact at about 5.2 inches, right, we had to fit in a whole lot more. So while doing that, we basically managed to get a really good blend. So you can see from an ergonomics perspective. So this is an all metal back. It's an aluminum back that comes in a 5000 series. You can see the subtle curves that come on all sides, make it much easier to hold and grip with your hand. Also, something that I can't show on the slides is the weight balance. So when you hold the phone, how good it feels weighted overall. A couple of small things. For example, the small little rings that you see around the camera, right? All of these small things kind of add on to make a device a much better looking device, something that you would actually want to flaunt. When it comes to flaunting, for people like me, you need it in Venom Black. Right? It has to be Venom Black. So we do give that. And it looks really stunning. So let me kind of run a quick glimpse of how it looks. So you've got a fingerprint at the back, you've got this beautifully carved out button, the symmetrical speaker grills at the back, and of course the two colors that got something for almost everyone that comes in with the K Plus. So that's number 6. Let me move to number 7. And this one is pretty easy. It is the Lenovo K series. With K series, you do get, you guarantee pretty much that you get the best of multimedia. The K8 Plus comes with Dolby Atmos. It was there on K6 Power. We had to kind of keep it here. With Dolby Atmos, what you get is this 360-degree virtualized surround sound, right? So perfect when you're watching movies, when you're consuming content. It just is a lot more immersive as an experience. When you're watching a video, sound, we don't really think of sound as too important till you actually start using something like this. And of course, we've seen how Dolby Atmos gets you a lot more immersive. Maybe if you can kind of maximize the video that we just saw. Right? And why is this important? Again, if I go back, Sureen said he watches music videos. So when you're watching that, this is a critical part. This is about hearing the whole picture. And it becomes extremely important to have good sound in a smartphone. Otherwise, it's really hard to say it's a complete phone. So because it has this great sound, and it's supposed to obviously do really well as music, we have added the music key in this as well. So we've gotten a music key. Again, wasn't very clear on the design part of it, but the way the music key has been carved out and that subtle red that goes around the button, again, it's adding to the overall aesthetics, while of course ensuring that you get that complete control over your music. But if you're not a music lover, right, so you don't really care about music, but you want camera a bit more, or maybe you use WhatsApp 24/7, you can remap this button to any app of your choice. And so you get that control. We're not forcing you to use this only for one function. It's pretty much up to you. But by default, this will come as the music key. Now, you've seen the full high definition 5.2-inch display that comes in. You've got Dolby Atmos. Of course, when you combine all of that, it makes it perfect for Theater Max. Now, Theater Max is something that is exclusive to Lenovo. Nobody else has this. And what it lets you do is watch any content, any movie, whether you're streaming on YouTube or Hotstar or Netflix. All you need is a regular VR headset, and you put this device there in a split screen mode on a virtualized large screen experience. So you get that immersive experience that is very hard if you're not having a Lenovo device. I mean, I don't think there's anything else that matches something like this. And we've actually invented Theater Max with the K4 Note, and we've kind of taken that forward. If you haven't tried it, you must. It's quite stunning. I actually use it quite a bit for watching football matches on Hotstar. It's quite amazing if you see the entire football field from left to right. It's you almost in the game there. It makes quite a lot of difference. So that's number 7, which I promised. Now this is something that most of us are not willing to compromise on, right? The battery life. Well, you've got dual camera, you've got this amazing performance, but if my battery dies, what am I going to do with all of it? Right? I can't click pictures on a dead phone. Well, what we've got with the K8 Plus is a 2-day battery life, right? So basically, I could probably say that because it's the Plus, it's 1 day plus another. So you've got 2 days of battery life, and this is also the system optimization kicking in. This is also the processor that we saw, which was using less current. All of those small things add on to give you perhaps one of the best battery life that you would have seen on a device in this price class. How much? So let me break it down. For example, if you're web surfing, right? Just for web surfing on Wi-Fi, you get up to 13 hours of web browsing, right? Which is quite stunning. What about video playback? Again, now these are all test conditions. Your network conditions could vary, but suppose you're watching videos, you get up to 20 hours of video playback on this, right? What about music? Now this music part is quite stunning. It's astounding, but this is through headphones based on our test. Okay, this one's gone wild. So does the playback time. You get up to 100 hours of music playback on headphones with the screen switched off, but you get an idea of what this battery is capable of doing. Net, when you're talking about a complete phone, you don't have to be worried about your phone dying out on that day. With the K8 Plus, it does not happen. So let me kind of summarize this overall. We spoke about 8 points. Let me try and cover them back. So what makes the K8 Plus tick? You've got those amazing cameras, right? So you've got those dual cameras at the back. You've got the depth mode. You saw a couple of pictures. For the people in the room, you can see some more pictures that have been printed and kept outside in the art gallery. They're looking fantastic. You've got an 8 megapixel with the front flash and a pro mode for selfies as well, right? So we're not really skimping out on just one. I mean, this is not just a marketing gimmick that we kind of limit it to one but forget about the rest of the device, right? So we're not going to do that. It's a complete phone. It has a big battery. We saw a 2-day battery life, and this one runs a 4000 mAh, but highly optimized from a chipset perspective, from a software perspective. You saw the design. Amazing metal build, comes in Venom Black, comes in fine gold. It's a very ergonomically designed device with the right weight balance as well. Then you've got stock Android. So you get all the good things about stock Android, and you get 7.1.1. Before I forget, you will get an update for Android Oreo a little later. You've got this amazing display and the overall music key for complete control. Then you've got a 16 nanometer TSMC process-based chipset, right, which is a true octa-core, and that's combined with 3 GB and 32 GB of RAM, and you've got a dedicated SD card slot as well. Right, so we didn't really skimp out on any of those. You get superior thermal management with this. Along with that, it's got all the connectivity options. So you've got voice over LTE, of course you've got 4G. It's a true dual SIM device because you're not really swapping out for a hybrid SIM here. So you can actually put two SIMs there, and you have a separate SD card slot. Uh, and of course, you've got Dolby Atmos and Theater Max. And all of these things, all of the 8 things that I spoke about, come together to make this tick beautifully. And it all just works and makes it a complete device without too many corners being cut, without too many compromises. When you start using this device, we are trying to kind of take care of all the pain points that Sudhin mentioned in the beginning. Uh, so that's the K8 Plus. What you get is pure Android with performance to deliver. You've got dual cameras that help you focus on everything that matters and let you really create images rather than just take images, I guess. This will go on sale tomorrow at noon at 12 p.m. on Flipkart exclusively at a price of 10,999. Now this is for the 332. We will have a holiday edition which will be the 432 that should be coming in for the Diwali period. Along with that, what you get is a whole bunch of launch offers for tomorrow. So you will get a buyback guarantee from Flipkart as well as exchange on your old device. So when you really need to move up to a K8 Plus. You also have an offer on the Moto Pulse 2. There are no headphones in the box. If you need a pair of headphones or you want to enjoy the Dolby Atmos, I would suggest you get the Moto Pulse 2. You also have an option of getting a Bluetooth speaker from Flipkart. And then all of it, from a data perspective, you're taken care of from our partners from Reliance. So Reliance Jio, you get Jio Prime. So if you're not a Prime member, that's something that you can't really buy in the market, but you get it with this device. As well as you get additional 30 GB over and above your daily limit. Actually, 30 GB is split over 6 months, but you don't have to be locked down by the daily limit, so you actually can go above and beyond. So you get a whole bunch of things and also a complete phone at an incredible price. Also, want to talk about coming soon, we will have the K8. Now this will come to the leading retail outlets or retail partners that we have across the country. It should be coming in a couple of weeks. This one has a 5.2-inch HD IPS display, retains the premium metal design that the K series is known for, retains the multimedia prowess that the K8 Plus had. The dual camera gets moved to a single camera here, but the front is still kept along with the party flash, and you get a pretty powerful P20, which is again built on a TSMC 16nm process. So this is power efficient as well as powerful, and you get a large battery to go with it. So this one is clearly focused on the road warriors. This should be coming to retail outlets pretty soon. So with that, if you can have a summary product video, and once the product video ends, then if I could invite you up.
Lenovo K8 Plus. Pure power. Dual focus.
Thank you. So yeah, we can have a photo op.
Yeah, so thanks, Anuj. So thank you so much, friends from media and people who are watching us live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So that's all we had to present today. The Lenovo K8 Plus. Time for the photo opportunities, and we'll be around for the media if you have any more questions. Thank you so much for being here.
आगे पीछे
Lenovo K Plus. Dual focus.
अच्छा स्टॉप हो गया ना हेलो हेलो हाँ स्टॉप हो गया ना हम्म, हाँ बंद तो कर दिया मैंने ये अभी भी मेरा वॉइस आ रहा है क्या पीछे